So you're looking to move from out of state into Idaho, you have a lot of choices. Chances are you've considered something like Arizona, maybe Utah, maybe Tennessee, Texas, Idaho. Those are the ones I usually hear, but you are nonetheless looking to find yourself as a non-political refugee. You want to be with like kind. This place is awesome. Bad things happen. I just remind myself, no earthquakes, no bugs, no tornadoes, no hurricanes, no alligators. I mean, like you go in the Midwest, you've got, chiggers in your grass, all that type of stuff. You don't have that here in Idaho, but we're gonna talk about the top 9 things you need to know about Idaho. This one's coming at you hot and fresh, so let's get it. Number 9, the thing people don't talk about, but we should, I talk about on every car ride when out-of-staters come, is the weather, the climate. One of the best things, in my opinion, is the 4 seasons. I love it. Right now, today's the high is 102, wouldn't know it with this hoodie. And tomorrow's like 92. And it gets in this late July period, and we're gonna start seeing 100 degrees every once in a while. Usually, in my estimation, we're probably like 5 to 20 days a year of 100 or more. That contrasts very nicely with the winter. Our building codes are interesting because we have to build for that 100 degrees and the 0 degrees, because we can get down there. In the winter, it does get to, maybe 10 degrees, 15 degrees at nighttime. During the day, it's gonna be hovering around 25 to 35. To give you an idea what happens when it snows, it's usually 2 or 3 times a winter. It comes and it's gone by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My neighbor did not one time shovel his walk last winter. I know I did because I bought a new snowblower, never needed one. You still don't need one. I just have a long cement driveway to my garage door, and so I thought, why not? I had some extra credit card points for Home Depot and decided to get one in. So they're not needed in Idaho. And if you want to help yourself, have a driveway that faces south because the sun is in the south in the winter. But when it snows, you can just stay in your house for a few hours. There are snowstorms, and there was one this year, where you have about 3-4 days of snow. Like, it's really not the end of the world. If you have a pantry with a few cans and a few noodles and a few boxes of food, you're gonna be fine. Nothing really that dangerous. You don't need a snowmobile. The main roads get plowed. If you live in the hills, you live on non-common roads, you might need to consider other sources of information. But when it comes to subdivisions, when it comes to main roads, when it comes to daily living, the winters are fine. Contrast spring and fall. Fall has got to be my favorite. I love it. I just absolutely love the brisk mornings. I love the warm afternoons. You get about October, you start hitting freezing temperatures with about first or second, third week of October. You'll start hitting freezing temperatures during the night because that's when we have to do our sprinkler blowouts, which when you come to town, we'll teach you all about those. And then the spring, you get a lot of wind and rain. When the temperatures change, pressures change, winds come, that's pretty normal. A lot more normal here than, like I say, in eastern Idaho, central Idaho, a lot less wind here. Boise's definitely advantageous for that. The winds are so much better here. How do we compare to Portland and Seattle? I mean, way drier. I think Portland and Seattle have over 300 days of rain a year. Maybe it's over 200. I mean, we get like 10 inches of rain in this valley. Boise's in a desert. So the temperatures do drop at night, which is nice. The temperatures can cool off, unlike a Phoenix where it's like hot they're in a desert too, but they don't cool off, right? I mean, they cool off to like 90. It's so hot there, you can't even use your pool in the summer because it's too hot. The water's too hot. Our winters are more mild than Salt Lake City, believe it or not. Salt Lake City, it seems, I've actually lived there for a couple of years, first job out of college, and it's snow it's like snow 3 or 4 months in a row, it seems like. And it comes out and it's a nice spring, it's a nice summer, similar to Boise's. But our temperatures are definitely less extreme in the highs than Phoenix, but we're also higher in the winters than Salt Lake City. So I love it. I love the 4 seasons, Boise's weather. Quick tip for you also on the weather is one of the best things you can do is just dress in layers. So a nice coat, nice jacket, or a sweatshirt and a nice coat, like you are fine, totally fine. Now, if you're retired, this won't apply to you, but for you moms and dads who have kids in schools and you wanna know about the education, you wanna know about the ratings, okay, the best thing I can say as an agent is go check the ratings online. Those will tell you everything you need to know. As a practical point of view, there's really not a place, a school, a town, a community that I would not put my schools in. Do I have my preferences? Certainly. I've lived in Boise, Meridian, Eagle, and Middleton. All those cities, even the Mistake City, those are zero hesitation type, yes, put your kid in those schools. Are there advantages and disadvantages? I'm sure there are. And we found out in Middleton, the attention that kids get from their teachers is what you're looking for. And that to me is the biggest thing. Does the teacher care? Like, I can have a school system, I can have a rating. I just wanna know if the teachers care. How's the school system? How's the school district? They're pretty dang good. Boise school districts, just so you know, are divided. You have Boise's, which covers like all Boise proper. Then you have West Idaho, which used to be called Meridian, which covers all the Meridian schools and the Eagle and Star. And then you have Middleton School District. And then you have Nampa, Caldwell, and Valley View. Valley View covers the in-between parts of Caldwell and Nampa. So that's the school district system for you. You know, there's also school choice in Idaho. So if the school is not over capacity, you can apply to go there. Sports-wise, there's some transfer rules, but when it comes to education or going where you want to go, as long as the school's not overcrowded, you can definitely go there. Random little note for you on Middleton. Middleton is getting a ton of turf fields. There's been a private donor who's donated a ton of money to put a lot of turf fields to have tournaments, 7v7, 9v9, and 11v11. Tennis is increasing here in Middleton as well. I know that we're looking for the whole valley. Just giving a little plug. They're gonna put some tennis bubbles in Middleton, and it's gonna be pretty sweet. We'll have 8 courts plus 5 covered with a tennis dome. Good things are happening in Middleton. You heard it here first. Summarizing the schools in the valley, yes. It's a flat yes. If you're trying to get out of the smog, you're trying to get out of the city and you need to hit the mountains for the weekend, there is no better feeling than being in the pine trees, looking at the campfire, hearing the river or the stream, stream by. Just no better feeling than that. And there's a ton of options here in Boise. This weekend, I'm going to Brownlee Campground. I've never been there. It's only an hour 45 away. I've probably been to 100 different campsites. If you drew a 3.5 hour radius from your home, boy, oh boy, you have got, I would say, 1,000 options at least. So if you're an outdoors person, there's sand dunes, there's rivers. I mean, there's world-class rivers you can camp next to. There's millions of pine trees. Boise's the desert, but if you go in the mountains, just 30 minutes away, you're in pine trees. Keep that in mind. If you're needing good camping, this place is an outdoor haven. I've told this story before, so I'll make it quick this time, but we were in Orlando and we ran into this family. We were on the same boat at Universal Studios or something. And we was like, hey, what are you guys doing? I go, we're from Wisconsin. We're visiting all 50 states and we need to, go see them all. We're doing like 5 a summer or something. So by the time our little girls, so such and such age, she'll have done every state. So what do you go see in Idaho? We're like, you don't go see anything. You don't go see the Capitol building. You don't go see blue turf. Like, you need to go watch a Boise State game, go out camping, go kayaking, go hiking, go to the sand dunes. There's things to do and see, go fishing, hunting, all those types of things. Boise, Idaho, it's a do state. You need to be doing something here. So if you're looking for a conservative lifestyle and you want to be a little more active, this is a good place for you. I mean, we're not the most active family, but we do get out and do our fair share of things. And speaking of doing, you've got the Greenbelt, you've got Bogus, you've got Lucky Peak. From my house, within 45 minutes, there's 4 places we could take a boat if we had one to go, 3. No, there's 3. And from our place in Middleton here, within 45 minutes, we have our choice of reservoirs. So it's Black Canyon, Lucky Peak, or Lake Lowell. You have a lot of options: rivers, lakes, fishing, hiking, outdoors, everything you want in Idaho, it's there. Number 6, if you are looking for open spaces, open land, things, where to go shoot, where to hike, where to run, Boise area has a ton of public land. A lot of it's BLM land, and you can use that land to do whatever you want. Like, it can be shooting, it can be running, like I already said. It is land that's yours. I know in other states, that's not how that land is viewed. It's like closed off. In Idaho, it's not. There's a recent bill that tried to pass where they tried to sell off some of that stuff. Good in theory. I'm not sure practicality is what we were looking for. Everyone's got their own vote. As a conservative, I want to see the government out of our lives, right? I want to see the government not doing that, but the government does have that land that we can use. So for all intents and purposes of this video, all we're going to say about that land is it's good space to use. And before we go on to number 5, which is a huge win for you guys coming from out of state, I got to tell you, my name is Brian Hymas, born and raised here in the Boise Valley. I've been an appraiser for a couple years, been doing real estate since 2017. I absolutely love getting you guys here using the Buying in Boise blueprint. There's no greater compliment I receive than phone calls, texts, emails from you. If I don't respond to you, I'm probably showing homes or I did not see it. If you don't hear from me for a couple hours, I do not mind a reminder. Email is the surefire way. I go through my emails every night and morning. Text is a great way. Calls is a great way. If you get my voicemail, please send me a text. I want to help you get here. Buying in Boise blueprint, there's no better way. It's gonna help you not overpay, not miss out on any homes, and not buy lemon. This process is down pat. So if you're looking to move here and you're looking for a conservative lifestyle, which might be number 1 in this video, stick around, then this is the place for you. Reach out and we'll get you set up on the Buying in Boise blueprint. Number 5 is so easy to talk about. You guys have to be so tired of sitting in traffic over there. I've gone from the beach to a Chipotle and it's taken me like 25 minutes to go 3 blocks. Like, it's absolutely bonkers over there. I know you guys love California for all it offers. You can be in the beach and the mountains in the same day. I know why you guys are coming here. It's for the conservative lifestyle. So I know there's some things you don't like about where you're coming from. And I may say California, it's probably like 50% are from Southern Cal. And then like the most recent 2 closings I've had have been from Washington. Speaking of traffic in Washington, I-5 is absolutely bonkers. I know there's freeway systems all over. This, not just these 3 cities, including the Bay. When it comes to Boise's traffic, for example, it takes me 35 minutes to get downtown from here if I go to Boise State and park. But if I hit a wreck on the way to Boise State, I had to go there for physical therapy for a while. And one morning I hit a wreck and it took me an hour. Like, it just doubled the time, and it wasn't like, it's not every deal. You just check your Waze app that morning. Is there a wreck or no wreck? And you're fine. It's not like you're counting on traffic every morning. Traffic happens when an event happens. So that's the good news. An event like a wreck or a snowstorm or something like that. So that's the good news. Not a lot of public transit options. There are options, but they're not widely used. The biking culture here, I'd say, is low. I actually know of a ACHD rep, that's people who do the roads, and he's trying to get a lot of biking pathways. He's actually against biking as a concept, but he is trying to get a lot of biking because he thinks it's a helpful tool for those who need it in providing bike paths on the roads. When it comes to commute times, honestly, they say statistically 22 minutes and it takes care of most of your traveling in the Boise Valley. And I would say it's true. If you're gonna be in Boise, you've obviously got every store you want there. If you're in Meridian, you've got every store you want there. That includes the Costco's, the Trader Joe's, the Targets. You've got In-N-Outs, you've got Walmart's. If you're in Nampa, Caldwell, or Middleton, you've got Walmart's, Costco's, Targets, all within 20 minutes. I mean, they're everywhere. So you're covered. Like, you don't have a store that in other cities that you can't get here. It used to be that you could have Fry's in other places. I think Fry's has gone out of business. There's the Best Buys, there's the Sportsman's Warehouse, we have Shields. Like, there's absolutely everything you'd ever want in this place. I gotta tell you why I'm biased though. I'm so biased because you get everything you want in Boise and you don't have to have the smog, you don't have to have the traffic, you don't have to have the wokeism. I mean, I just, the more, okay, if you're in Boise, you're gonna get some of that. Like, bar none, not bar none, but without exception, the closer you get downtown Boise, you're gonna get someone who thinks less like me. How's that? But the more you get outside of Boise city limits, the more like-minded people like yourself that you're going to find. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. Parking downtown, pretty easy. There's parking garages and there's parking meters that work with the app. But for the most part, it's wide open. So Buc-ee's is coming to town. I'm not sure if you guys saw that news. Yeah, I want to hit Instagram pretty wildly. I never report on it. I don't report on the news on Instagram, but Buc-ee's is coming to town, and there's an intersection, Meridian Road and Freeway, and there's like 60 acres on that corner. We have a lot of farmland that still needs to be developed. One of the biggest intersections in Idaho is Fairview and Eagle, and that one still has a huge plot of land that's not developed yet. It's just a farmer who keeps farming it and keeps asking too high of a value. There's plenty of spots, plenty of farm fields. You'll see corn, potatoes, beets, mint, all sorts of things on your way on any drive. You don't have to be in Middleton to see those farms. You can see those in anywhere except Boise city limits, essentially. All right, before we get on to what would a job be like here in Boise for number 4, I will tell you again, there's no greater compliment that I received than phone calls, texts, emails from you if you're looking to make this conservative place your home. So reach out if that's you. But there are a ton of job opportunities in Idaho. I get people asking me, hey, what's the job market on a truck driver? What's the job market like for a nurse? Hey, I don't know if I know those individual scenarios as well as maybe just the Google search will do for me, but I do know that Micron is expanding with a multi-billion-dollar expansion, bringing in 17,000 jobs by 2030. That's estimated going to be between 2,000 and 5,000 permanent positions, which if you have 5,000 permanent positions in Micron, you think of the infrastructure to have 5,000. That's a small town. You have to have the dentist, the bike repairs, the little small town grocer, the jeweler, like it brings in all sorts of people. And so that's a lot of economy. Meta is gonna have a Facebook data center here. That's gonna be 1,200 temp jobs here. It's not gonna be that big of a permanent job employer because it's gonna be a large data center, not a lot of people working there. St. Luke's is a huge employer. Boise State's a huge employer. The state of Idaho, obviously a huge employer. Albertsons is a huge employer. They're headquartered here in Boise. So is Winco. We have 2 grocery stores that are headquartered in Boise, both founded here. Kind of interesting if you ask me. So median household incomes here in the valley, you can see Eagles, Meridian's, and then it looks like another one that's on top is Star and Cuna. Middleton gets up there, Nampa, Caldwell, and Garden City, somewhere close to that order. Boise's is 100K. Household income's interesting because you have two people, right? Like, what's my household income with one wage earner? Well, might be less than the next guy, right? But median household income to me is the stat that needs to be tracked when it comes to data. Number 3, this place sounds wonderful to you. It sounds conservative. It sounds like the hidden jewel. You know, you thought to yourself, I didn't get why people are moving there, but now let's talk about house prices. We have house prices that, if you're coming from the big cities, we're usually, I would say we're gonna beat you. We're gonna have lower prices. If you're coming from like the Central Valley or things, you're gonna find that our prices actually might be more expensive. I've had people turn around from Boise and say, yeah, we're not gonna afford that. I have somebody moving here, a high school friend moving back to the Valley. Should he get the job, I will be helping him move, and I'm excited to see what he says. It should be that Boise might be a tad bit more expensive than the central parts of California. I've had people move here from Central Washington, a couple from the outskirts of, even closer to outskirts of Eugene. I've had people move from like Portland Central, but long story short is to find a home in the Boise Valley is going to be more expensive the closer you get to Boise. And then as you go out, it's less expensive. There are exceptions. For example, Garden City is way closer to Boise. Garden City does have $1 million gated communities on the water, but Garden City as a whole is gonna be less expensive than Eagle as a whole. And then Star is less than Eagle, Middleton's less than Star. Star and Meridian are similar prices when it comes to average, but when you take like the same home in both those cities, the newer home in North Meridian is gonna go for more than the newer home in Star if it's on the same acreage and things like that. Same with South Meridian. South Meridian is just like a tick. It's usually like a percentage just barely behind North Meridian. So, and then you guys know my favorite hidden gem in all the valley is South Meridian. Close to the freeway, easy access, great residential area. You guys have seen the stats on your screen. Eagle's median home prices jump between about $850 and $950, depending on when you grab that data from. That's a whole year's worth of data though, as we're looking at. So it's gonna be pretty average there. The one that always surprises me is Garden City, but it's because Garden City has some nice homes in there. If you were to divide that up into two areas, the nice and the not so nice, which you probably could, you basically have two extremes of living. One thing I am proud of, Middleton, 526, keeping it lower here. Definitely a growing up and coming community in my opinion. Obviously I live here, so I'm a little on the bias side. Is it any cheaper to live here in Boise area? So I'm gonna say resoundingly yes. I've told this story many times. I have a friend client who moved here from Austin, and he put it up on he's a kind of guy who would put it on an Excel spreadsheet. He totaled $18,000 in savings. For example, you don't have any income tax in Texas, but your property taxes are gonna be $15,000, $20,000 a year. So you're paying more in that amount every month. When it comes to utilities, gas, grocery, taxes in general, when you go with that stuff, that's a lot cheaper here in Boise. And that's what we're proud of. We have a budget that's balanced in Idaho. When it comes to property taxes, without getting into all the details, because I actually heard another level of the property taxes and it was mind-boggling. But basic property taxes are this. The assessed value, which is usually less than what you bought it for, is going to be X. You get taxed on X minus $125,000 at the rate that is determined by the budget. They don't just say you can't just, when people ask, hey, what percentage is your property tax in such and such city? It changes every year because the budget changes every year. The budget is set, and then we take a proportion of our home ownership and back that in essentially to find the rate that's needed to make that budget work. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, call me, text me, we can figure it out. If you're moving here, obviously call text, we'll get you settled up here in Idaho. Average income for the 9 cities, this is probably household income, $91,219. When it comes to the specifics about cost of living in Boise, Idaho, a good video that you need to watch is right there. I go into all the cost of living. I can just simply put everything into it's cheaper here. The one thing that needs to happen in Boise, in the Idaho area, is that the incomes need to come up. I think that will happen. There's economic reasons I think it'll happen, but you can't have disparity of income without it trickling down, in my opinion. I'm sure some economists is watching this and think, man, Brian, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Hey, I don't. I just talk about houses. So I'm gonna give you an idea about Boise, but I do know the cost of living is a lot cheaper here in Boise. And the number one reason you should be considering Idaho, the number one thing people don't talk about enough, and I don't know why, because even my people here the last week, the Conroys were here, I hope you're watching this video, and they were talking about the reason they're moving here, and it's like people are like, hey, why are you moving here? And they kind of they'll answer that question. They'll be like, well, guys, it's like plain, it's out there. Everyone knows it. We're moving here for the conservative lifestyle, and that's number one. This is the best place for a conservative life. I just shared today on my Instagram stories. I'll actually pull it up. There is Idaho's just enacted sweeping new laws cutting off benefits for illegals, banning vaccine mandates and DEI funding, criminalizing public sleeping, reinstating the firing squad, and requiring legal parental notification in child service investigations. Holy cow, well, sounds like good old-fashioned America. So if you want conservative America, this is the place for you. We have conservative laws when it comes to abortion that protects the mother if she's in danger, rape and incest, all that type of stuff. And then it's just against killing babies who would be naturally born if they were conceived, right? It's amazing how controversial that topic is, but it's interesting to me. I just don't get it. Second Amendment, right to bear arms. This is a very pro Second Amendment state. Nampa and Eagle I think other city councils have done it too, where it protects that right no matter what, which the Constitution should do, but topic for another day. General speed on the freeway is 65. Get out of town, it's 80 in between Idaho. When you hit Oregon, it slows down. When you go to eastern Idaho, it's 80 the whole way, essentially. One of the cool things about conservative Idaho life is the lack of crime. That you want to go and see those numbers, look them up, but it's 11.68 per 1,000 persons in 2025. No idea what that means, but I'm gonna guess that where you're coming from is a lot higher than that. If you're coming from out of state, just notice the types of conversations that are had. Let me just say, my people that were in town last week, and this is the Conroys again. I usually don't mention people by name, but I'm like, hey, you guys, if they didn't give me consent, their last seat's fine. There's a million Conroys out there. One of the things they said is, everyone's so friendly. Everyone said hi. We talked to people at the restaurant, talked to people about this area and that area, and everyone's just so friendly. Like I feel like that's Boise. Like I talk to everybody. I talked to the checkout stand gal. I've talked to the banker. I talked to the guy I say hi on the street. I mean, if I pass by somebody, I'm never gonna ignore somebody. It's just not in my nature. I don't think it's in it's in some Idahoans' nature. Not everyone's the same. But if you are coming here, trust me, you're gonna have conversations with people you never thought you'd have. We tend to be welcoming and practical, despite what you see online. The Idaho's full. Go back to California, all that type of stuff. It's a very friendly place, but most people move in and they say, oh, I was scared to move in, but everyone on my street's from California. Like, yeah, I know. We all know. What Idahoans and what we're afraid of is that people come in who say they're conservative, but they're only conservative for California's values or Washington's values, and it's not even conservative for here. Okay, let me give you a little practical example. There is an influencer from Idaho who's moved here from California. This is what we're afraid of. Is you move here and on her Instagram account, she's like, did you know that it's illegal to have snow on your car that you don't brush off? Like, who cares? Like, you're not doing any damage. Like if you drive around with snow in your car, like we don't care. Conservative Idaho means let us govern where we need to govern. And so no cop's gonna pull you over for having a little bit of snow in your car. I can see that it could be, if you had a foot of snow and it's blowing off and it's a snowstorm, I don't know what the situation would be, but we don't get in other people's business as much as we can. Of course, a government is there to protect us. They need to protect the moral society of the land. Otherwise it becomes anarchy and we don't want that. So there is a need and there's a case. But what we're afraid of is Californians coming and adopting what they consider to be conservative California. We love the Idaho that we have. We want to keep it that way. We hope you want to keep it that way. I can almost guarantee the people that call, text, email me are wanting to keep it that way. So if that's you, give me a ring. Let's go. Let's get you in the Buying a Boise Blueprint. There's no greater compliment than those phone calls, text, emails coming in. Puts bread on our table, and it also helps you become a freedom-loving Idahoan, get that driver's license, get that driver's, those car plates on your car, and become a full-fledged Idahoan. So that's you. Let's make it happen. I told you when you were watching that bullet point to go watch the cost of living video. A reminder, that's right here. If you stayed to the end, go watch that video. And if I missed anything about Idaho that you think I should have done, please put it in the comments. It's cool to go back and forth with you guys, especially if you disagree. I love it when you disagree because I'm not the end-all say-all of this stuff. I have opinions. Those opinions are based on my experience. If you have opinions based on your experience, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be responding to those.